Welcome, everyone. I'm Ray Shows, the founder and the administrator of the St. Paul String Quartet competition, now in its 18th year. And I am delighted to welcome the Aurum String Quartet. Am I pronouncing that right? Okay, very good. Well, first question of all is, how did you all get together?
Usually how MYA works is that our groups are kind of assigned at the beginning of the year. I played with John and Jocelyn last year, and then Kay came into our group this year.
Do you choose your name, or does the coach choose the name? How does that work?
We're like told in the beginning of the year that we need a name, and then we go and do our thing to choose it. Choosing our name this year was actually pretty funny because we didn't know what to name ourselves. So we actually ended up looking up like a big list of Latin words, and we picked the one that sounded the coolest, which ended up being Aurum, which means gold. So yeah.
So I guess you guys are gunning for the gold here. I mean, this is what I'm starting to pick up. Good, good. Jocelyn, why do you play chamber music, and why string quartets?
My experience with chamber before, I really enjoyed it, so that kind of like encouraged me to like continue participating in the program. And why string quartet specifically? Last year I was in a string quartet, but actually last year was my first year in a string quartet. I kind of really enjoyed it because like prior to that I was in a piano trio, and I felt like being in a string quartet last year kind of like introduced me to like a different type of chamber, and I really enjoyed it.
Very good. John Lee, why are you in a string quartet?
Like, especially in MYA, I just really like the environment. Everybody's really nice here. And being assigned to a string quartet is just like, I think, in my opinion, it's boosted my level of playing a lot. And like, it was good for my social life too, just being able to interact with my peers and play music together. I think it's just a lot of fun.
Kay, what about you?
Great. I actually got more interested in music because of string quartet playing. So I like joined the summer camp of MYAC, the summer chamber music camp, and then it kind of just like let me be more free with my playing and like, I don't know, explore more things that I've never explored before. So yeah, I wasn't really in a very intense group last year, but this year I am. So yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Kay. That's beautiful. We'll come back to that in the conversation about what it does for you, and I'm delighted that it's moved you toward music even more. I love that. Vince?
Yeah, so I think being in a string quartet or just in chamber music in general, it really kind of forces you to think a different way about the music that you play. For example, one of the big things I like to think about when talking about chamber music is the idea of like compromising, not only musically, but like, you know, we have like a bunch of conversations in our rehearsals about how we want to phrase certain things, and like the idea of just compromising with each other and deciding on one thing is something that you don't see in other areas of playing too much, especially like solo. So yeah, I think it just forced me to think a different way about music, and I think that kind of broaden my perspective regarding music in general.
Okay, let's, Jocelyn, describe your quartet's performance style.
I feel like as a group, we tend to like work better with maybe like more fast-paced pieces, because I feel like it gets the like our like kind of like gets the energy going.
So, John, do you agree with her? Do you like the energy level moving the tempo along, or are you of a mind that you like different things?
Well, I definitely agree with Jocelyn's point. We're kind of like, we're very like hyper in a way. And with like all the pieces we play, like we tend to like be very into it. Like we're kind of like unleashing all of this like emotion into our music. Like you could definitely see that in our playing, and I really enjoyed that.
Okay, anything to add?
I think we just like get like that like whole like unified like energy when we're playing together, and it's like fast and like an energetic piece instead of like, you know, slow and like mellow. Like we're not saying that we don't like that, but I think we just connect better together as a group when we're playing.
When you are presented with a more slow or lyrical passage in pieces or a movement, how does your quartet work through that?
So obviously, like for us, because we're so used to the fast pieces, slow lyrical stuff tends to be a bit more challenging. we try to approach it pretty methodically. First, we like sing it out, like out loud, and we find that that's a pretty good way of kind of getting an idea of how the phrasing's supposed to go. So once we have that kind of base idea, then the person who has the melody kind of executes that, and the people who have the accompaniment kind of just help out with the phrasing.
How did you settle on your repertoire?
Well, with our coach Matthias Taka, we kind of just like flipped through all the books and like just like saw what we liked, and like we kind of did like a candidates test where we just like found what we liked most and just chose between those pieces.
Someone remind me what the repertoire is, please. Your Haydn Quartet is what? Which piece?
We're doing Opus 76, number 5, the second movement.
Oh, the F sharp major.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you when you want to tackle slow, you really went to the tough stuff. Good. I'm impressed with that choice based on your decision making, because you could have chosen a fast movement. So obviously, did Matthias lean you in that direction, and it's okay if he did? Or did you guys feel like we should really try to get better at a lyrical slow movement?
Yeah, I think because actually all our other pieces are kind of more fast paced. So like we would have preferred a slow Haydn because it would definitely make a more contrast with our other like less lyrical and faster pieces.
I can see that. That's a nice package to put together. Vince, what are the other two pieces again?
The Bartok Quartet number 2, the second movement of that.
Okay.
And then the Mendelssohn Capriccio as well.
You're doing the Capriccio. Oh, one of my favorite pieces. Who came to that one, guys? That's a fabulously lesser played piece. It's gorgeous. Who picked it?
Mr. Taka actually suggested it to us in the beginning, and I don't know, I can't speak for the other members of my group, but I didn't know about the piece initially, and it ended up becoming one of my favorites pretty fast. So it's underrated.
It is underplayed. I don't think it's underrated, but it's underplayed, if I may correct. Good choice, guys. Good choice. All right. Let's do a Genesis story here. Going around the room. John, Lee, how were you introduced to string quartets for the first time?
Oh my God, this is a while ago. I think before we even like had to do like the required chamber groups for our orchestras, concert and symphony orchestras, I'm pretty sure I did the chamber workshop we have at MYA a while ago. This is maybe like 2016.
Wow.
2017. I was like really fat and short. But
so who made you do this? Your parents or your teacher or what? How did you get into the summer program there?
No, I just saw like a flyer, like in MY, they like put up these like flyers, and I thought I was like really interested. So I kind of like begged my parents to like kind of do it. Yeah.
That's pretty good. Kay, how did you get introduced to string quartet playing?
So like before I did like the summer camp thing, I did do a few like camps and like, you know, weekly things because I was part of the Suzuki program. Now I'm not, but I was. So I got a few experiences there, but it wasn't as much like fun as it was until the summer. So that's when I started like actually, you know, going into it. So I don't have that much experience, but that's all I got.
Yeah, but you're bringing a lot of interest and a lot of attention to it. That's fabulous. Vince, what about you? How did you get introduced to string quartets?
It was actually through my first private teacher. He used to organize these little private recitals. And one time he decided he wanted to expose me to some chamber music. So I ended up playing second violin in like a little private recital. I think we played a little bit of canon in D, which isn't too good for the cello, as we all know, but you know, that's not my problem.
Someone else wrote it. Someone else has to play it. Every time I mention that piece, my cellist just rolls her eyes. Like,
Yep.
She doesn't even use the music. It's like, it's like nothing there. Jocelyn, how did you get introduced to string quartets?
Actually, I remember like when I was little, like my mom, she really enjoys like classical music. Like my parents, like when I was little and like I would like go anywhere like to school or to like when I would go to my private lessons, like she would like play WFMT and they would like play like like different types of classical music and also like string quartets. And like I like enjoyed listening to like the chamber music like that came on because like it was like different because like I mean I was young, but like I was exposed to like kind of like solo pieces. And I had been a part of like the MYA orchestra since fifth grade. So yeah, but then like I heard like the chamber pieces and they were like kind of like different for me. So I was like really like kind of like intrigued. And also, but yeah, like my first real experience with like string quartets was last year. I was in a quartet with John and Vince. Yeah.
Can you guys please tell me your impressions of the Kevin Lau piece, starting with John Lee? We'll start with him.
Yeah, when we first got this piece, we were definitely like surprised rhythmically, and like it was just very difficult to put it together at first. And but like listening to it and like actually playing it, I personally I think the name of the piece or the name of the movement we're playing, gliding, really fits the theme well, and I just really enjoy playing it. Like
it's way more fun than I originally thought it would have been. And it is, yeah, a bit challenging, but I really enjoy learning it. I think it's a really cool part. So yeah.
Kay, what do you think? Oh, no, Vince. I always go last to you, Vince. Vince, what do you think of the piece? And you don't have to like it, but I'm curious, what is your impressions of it and for you?
Oh no, I like it. Initially when I was reading the score, before I even listened to the piece, I was like, what on earth is going on here? Just because I saw all the changing time signatures, and I can tell you it's a heck of a brain workout to get through it. But I think like once you start playing it and you kind of get into the rhythm, you notice all these beautiful harmonies and all these great sections. I mean, the viola has a gorgeous solo, gorgeous melody, and I get that melody sometimes. So you just once you get through that initial hurdle of like working through all that counting mess, you start to really appreciate the artistry that he did.
That's fantastic. Thank you for saying that. I will share that with him. Kay Ito, what do you think of this piece?
Yeah, so I haven't been at like rehearsals like today. I think they have rehearsals today, but I'm kind of recovering from a sick, so like I need to like honestly I need to work on it. Like that's all I can say right now.
All right.
Yeah, but I do like it. I think I love listening to it, and like I think I'm usually not a fan of contemporary pieces just because I don't know. But this one, I think it like makes sense in terms of like how the group comes together and like just kind of fits. I don't know. I'm excited to see how it goes.